Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Be Healed Web Show, where I am your host, Camille R. Perry, and I'm so excited to have you on tonight. Listen, we are in the last day of February of 2023. How did we get here so fast? I could have sworn just a few weeks ago we were saying Happy New Year. What happened? But nevertheless, we are here in closing out, or what we would say commemorating our celebration of Black History Month, celebrating our history, our story. And what better way to do that than actually being able to partner with Mount San Jacinto College? Mount San Jacinto College, the Emotion program, and the Black Collective has asked me to be a part for Be Healed Web Show, to be a part of the celebration. And so I'm honored to host and to be able to have a conversation with these amazing students, as well as an amazing administrator, dean of our career education pathway. I believe it's underneath a new pathway. I'm not too sure, but he'll introduce himself in just a second. But let me just do a couple of little housekeepings. If you would like to continue to support or share with us here with Be Healed, some of you have known since the beginning of this web show, we do an awesome women's conference every August, in the month of August. And if you want to grab that link or scan that link, if you would like to participate in the growth and the advancement of the upcoming 2023 Be Healed Women's Conference, for us to continue the work, as well as the Be Healed Web Show, we greatly appreciate your support. Now, if this is your first time watching the Be Healed Web Show, I want to say welcome. Hope you're enjoying yourself so far. You can always click the subscribe button right there on YouTube if you're watching via YouTube. And then, of course, hit share if you're watching on Facebook, LinkedIn, or any place else. Get in the comments. Whoever just scanned that code, thank you in advance. I can see you, and I just want to say you are greatly appreciated. We're going to continue to move on, but I want you guys to get interactive. Ask these young folks and this amazing wise sage of a gentleman who I'm getting ready to introduce, Dr. Von Lawson, all the way from Oklahoma. Okay, and he's going to share with us. He's going to be my first panelist on tonight, and then we'll hear from our students. But I want to just tell you all thank you. Thank you in advance for all of your support down through the years with the Be Healed Web Show, as well as thank you in advance for getting involved in this show tonight to speak life to these amazing young students and alums of Mount San Jacinto College. These folks are our future. These folks right now are often much our present. And so I'm grateful to see and hear from them all. They're melanated, educated, and oh so awesome and amazing. And I'm excited to have them. Let me tell you about this gentleman that I get to call my friend and brother. Doctor, because yes, that's right. He got his doctorates. Oh yes, I hang out with a bunch of doctors. I'm going to get mine one day. But Dr. Lawson, he is a Kappa man. So yo to all the noobs that might be watching. But he is a father. He's a mentor. He's a praying man, preaching man, if you let him, serves in his church, serves in his community. And he is excited about the work that is being done amongst our students. Let's welcome Dr. Lawson. If I see some MSJC folks, you already know what to do. Welcome, Dr. Lawson. How you doing, sir?
Good evening to you, Miss Perry.
Good evening. So happy to have you. So, Dr. Lawson, can you tell them a little bit more, maybe exactly where you're from in Oklahoma?
I'll tell you what, I'm a product born in Tulsa, Oklahoma. If you're familiar with Tulsa, then you know the history of Black Wall Street. I was primarily raised in Oklahoma City, and I've been in California now. It'll be 10 years this year in July. I don't think I'll ever become a true Californian. I'm a Southern boy, and that's the way we were raised and born and bred. I'm so proud of that. Those roots, they run deep in me. I am a product of a historically Black college and university, and that is the greatest accomplishment that I've ever had. I give a shout out to Langston University in Langston, Oklahoma, where there were so many incredible individuals who poured into me and made me who I am. I was not the smartest student. I was not the smartest student. I repeat that. And I tell students it's not one thing about education. It doesn't ask what you look like, how tall or how good looking you are, how much money you have. Education asks where you want to go. And that's what they asked me when I arrived at Langston University. Where do you want to go? And I told them I just wanted to get a degree, and they helped me to get where I am today. I would not have anything that I have without that. So I thank my parents, my family for dropping me out on the curb in 1978, the summer, next to Young Hall, and saying, this is where you're going to be for the next 4 years. And had a lot of experience, not only in higher education, but also in public service. And I thank God for every opportunity that we've had to do some measure of good. I don't think that I've done anything great yet. I think the best is still yet to come, that we have so much to do. So that's a little bit about me. I think probably the two best things I ever did were my children. And then, of course, just have an incredible love for my family, my parents, my brothers and sisters across this country, my cousins, everyone that has poured into me to support me in what I try to do. I am blessed to serve Mount San Jacinto College as Dean of Instruction over the People, Culture, and Public Service pathway. As you said, that is a new area for us. And so I'm excited. I'm learning a lot each day with these new responsibilities. And I want to thank our leadership for giving me the chance to continue to serve our communities.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so, Dr. Lawson, you mentioned back in, I think, October, November, that you had a plan for Mount San Jacinto College as it relates for our celebrating of our Black history. Can you tell us what brought you to being on the Be Healed Web Show?
Wow, I'll tell you what, let's just say very clearly, spiritual empowerment and well-being. I've had an opportunity to watch your show numerous times, and sometimes that's difficult because this is my bedtime about this time, and so I get a chance to watch some of the old shows that have been taped and left online there. And each time, and I've told you, young lady, and I mean this, I speak this to truth, you have a ministry and a gift that touches so many hearts and so many minds. And when one sometimes is feeling low and feeling down, they can look at your show and know what it means to be empowered, to be strong, to overcome, to fight for greatness. I've seen some of the many gifts that you have featured, individuals who have faced traumatic events in their lives and overcome obstacles. And they've done such incredible things with their lives. And I have been truly motivated. It makes me even want to do more and do better. When I see your young brilliance as a producer and a writer and a director and a comedian, and when I see your ministry and what God is doing with you, I am so incredibly motivated by that. And I truly believe that, like I said, that greatness, it can't be contained. And so when I saw that, I said, this needs to be a part of our Black History celebration, because this young lady is in fact Black history. She wears those proud Zeta Phi Beta letters across her chest. She is not only across her chest, but in her heart and in her mind. And I want the ladies of Zeta Phi Beta to know that you have a beautiful, beautiful sister in this young lady, and I mean that. So, I felt like this had to be a part of our Black history experience at Mount San Jacinto College. Our students, our staff, our family had to see the gift that you bring in touching so many thousands of lives in our community and in this region. And I believe, like I said, the best is yet to come for you, young lady. It'll be someday international.
Well, I believe whatever God has for me is to prosper me, and I'm grateful for every kind word. And that why is just a perfect segue to let's bring in these amazing students. So we're going to first bring up who was first to arrive in the green room, Mr. Tyler Martin. Can you tell us a little bit about Tyler as we welcome him in?
This is one incredible young man, an athlete, and is a student at Mount San Jacinto College. He's a member of Umoja, just a downright dynamic, and I do mean a dynamic and brilliant young man. He has a calm nature about himself, and you can see the spirit on him when he walks in the room. I believe that he's going to make some tremendous strides throughout his life, and he's going to touch lives and motivate quite a few young people along the way. So I love the fact that I can call him a little brother, a student, and someone that motivates me to even want to do more. So, brother Tyler, let me be quiet, man. Let's hear some brilliance from this young man.
Welcome, Tyler, to the Be Healed Web Show. How you doing, sir?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing well, doing well. So tell us, Tyler, what are you currently studying? Or are you an alum of Mount San Jacinto?
I'm currently majoring in communications, and I have a minor in behavioral studies as of right now.
Oh, awesome. Well, listen, I'm a fellow communications undergrad as well. So we're connected. Connected. Okay, so tell us why those two subjects for you to major and minor in. What are you planning to do with those degrees?
I just want to be able to help students get to wherever they want to go, whether that's college or just another avenue in life, because throughout my experience as a student, I haven't been able to have a lot of people who are really trying to just push me forward and try to encourage me to do whatever I wanted to do. So I want to be able to be that person for them.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, everyone needs that advocate. Everyone needs that advocate for sure. So before I get too far in asking you some questions, I have another student in the green room, and I believe Brother James Parker is an alum of Mount San Jacinto College. Dr. Lawson, you want to give an introduction on Brother James?
This baby brother right here, I met when I first got to Mount San Jacinto College. And again, I love calling him baby brother. This is a Black father and husband. He, at that time, was a single student with a lovely young lady that he would escort across campus and walk her to class. And he's a mathematician, folks. And here's the thing. This is that young man who is the male version of Hidden Figures. I mean, he is a computer in his mind when it comes to mathematics and statistics. He is in the 4-year system now, and we know that he is going to do great things. I look forward someday very soon to calling him Dr. Parker, because I just know that he's going all the way. I can't say enough good things about him. He knows that. I make him blush all the time, and I try to, because he is such a dynamic mentor. He is such a role model for students when he was at Mount San Jacinto, and I know that he's making his mark in the 4-year system. So I'm gonna shut up. Young brother Dr. Parker, please, man, talk about yourself, man.
Yes, please. Tell us your degree of, or I know you're a mathematician, so I tell you got your degree in mathematics.
You got it. I'm a math major. Since I was I was always good at math. Thankful to the Lord. So when I went to Mount San Jacinto, I just picked math because my desire was to be a math professor at a community college, same place I went to, help out those students that's not really fond of math, even those that are, try to get past that bridge, because a lot of students just need to get past college algebra to get on to their other degree, or, everybody needs math in life, regardless of what you do. So I've always been blessed to be pretty good at math, and I was able to graduate at Mount San Jacinto with my degree, and been attending at Cal State San Bernardino, going for my bachelor's.
Awesome.
So that's the math background,
My daughter just graduated last December from Cal State San Bernardino with her degree in mathematics.
Go Yo.
Yeah, she's a yo. Yeah, she loves coyote all day. It's interesting because when she first threw up the yo, I'm like, I'm a Zeta. Okay, so what are you doing? It looks a little bit too much like mine, but she's like, no, it's this. And I'm like, okay.
It's a coyote.
I'll let it slide. But, my question to the both of you gentlemen, Tyler and James, you saw the theme for tonight is dealing with past, present, and future. What motivates you to do what it is that you do in pursuing greatness? Is it the past, the present, or the future?
You asking us both?
Yeah, one at a
Anybody
time.
in particular? Oh,
I'll let you go
oh,
first. I'll let you go first.
I appreciate it. Nice to meet you, brother Tyler. I
Nice
see.
to meet you as well, sir.
All three. So I guess you would have to go. In a hierarchy. The past, we wouldn't be where we are without the past, right? We standing on the backs of those who came before us. We don't have it as difficult as the ones that came before us. We all know that. So the past motivates me just knowing, just imagining what they went through. I can't imagine, when I used to sit in classes in Mount San Jacinto, I would notice, I'm maybe one of the only black dudes in class, maybe the only black dude in class, one of the few black people, but I'm here. I have the opportunity to be here. And just to think 50, 60 years ago, which is not that long, people are still living from those times. We couldn't, I couldn't be in the same college class as my, non-black counterparts. And just having that opportunity is a blessing for me. So I want to be able to move forward in all that I can do, just to take advantage of the opportunity that the people in the past didn't have. They laid the foundation as far as the difficulty. The present is so much, talent, so much, intelligence in the young people of today. We know they're different, as far as like the cloth they may be cut from, depending on how they grew up. But we're in such an advanced time in, our lives right now with technology, with skill, with accessibility. We have access to everything at our fingertips. So that's pretty inspiring. It's like the sky's not even the limit. You can do so much today. You can go from being homeless to being rich. You can do so much just with all that we have today. In the future, I'm just, I just, you just want to leave it in the good hands. Like I have a 3-month-old son we was talking about, that motivates me right there. Like, I want to be at his, graduations, his games, or whatever he decides to do, his choir rehearsal, whatever my son wants to do, I look forward to that, and whatever children I have behind, and even other children, my little cousins, like those that are coming behind us, even the youngest, because I'm 28. So it could be somebody 19, 20, and they can inspire me. So
Yes.
I just look forward to, making my mark, with my family, and as long as I can pass on these morals, to the generation that comes behind me. So it's a three-way, tie for how much they all motivate me. You can't go wrong.
Like that. I like that. It's hard. You're saying it's too much to delineate through. So I get that. What about you, Tyler?
I would have to agree with him about how it's all three, because if we're looking back in the past, we could look at how Black people were demoralized, ridiculed for even trying to go into school, let alone sit there in classes and be able to participate like every other student as they rightfully should have. And then if we look into the present, like now there's a whole campus filled at MSJC of all races of students, no matter if it's Mexican, Black, we're all there. And then we're also looking into the future of it, to where maybe one day we have just an absolutely, for lack of better terms, I would say just a lot of different uh, ethnic regions just being able to be exactly what we should be able to be, which is equal.
Yeah.
And so that's where I believe.
I wholeheartedly agree with that. I was reading John 17 today. My partner and I, we were reading John 17, and he asked me the question, "Why does John 17 ring out for you so much?" And I said, Jesus was praying in the garden, asking the Father to make us one, you, I, and everybody else one, as He and the Father are one.
Right.
And that is something that I believe Oftentimes when we see it marriages, the two shall become one. Flesh of my flesh, bone of my bone. And we talk about oneness in marriage, but society wants to make that seem taboo. We talk about wanting to have oneness of voice and to march for change and different things, but then you have someone that doesn't like this, or someone has to be more prominent, and pride gets in the way. All these things that become deterrents. And so when I think about past, present, and future, yes, we have to look at the past and we have to examine the past. What did the past do well? And what did the past do wrong?
Right.
And how can that impact us to move forward? And the same thing in our own personal lives. And I do believe that unification is something that I know God desires to see his people unified. And we are yet to be unified in these states of United States, but are we war torn like others? Are we as so misaligned as others? No. But do we still have a place where we need to grow? Yes. And that's where I'm grateful to hear you gentlemen share that from past, present, and future, that it's all about impact. It's all about making sure that we're doing what is right. So let's kind of get into some things, because I mean, normally when I ask for guests, I don't always get a strong male presence, but I have a strong male presence tonight and I'm excited about it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Let's tackle mental health. Let's talk about mental health. So it's going to be kind of like a hot topic. We're going to go through mental health, and then the next one will be a rapid fire, another topic, and we're going to do maybe about 2.5 minutes on each. Okay. With mental health, past, present, and future, how would you grade our society as a whole on mental health? And how do you believe you play a part in the mental health, in the wealth and the mental health of our community being who you are? Anybody? Tyler, I'll start with you because I had James last.
Okay. I'll start with how in the past. Well, I'll start with how I feel like we're not educated enough as of right now within the mental health crisis going on. And I would say in the past, people who might have had certain disorders or something wrong with them, they would just send them to the crazy house. They would just absolutely just, oh no, something wrong with them. They need to go. Whereas now, like, we're okay, maybe we should look at his brain or something to see if maybe it could happen there. And I feel like in the future, maybe then after we do more research and then we do more studies, that we can get more developed and better and be able to do whatever we need to do to provide the help needed.
Yeah, I agree. And Dr. Lawson, just let you know, you're included in this because you have a base point that you can source from too. Brother James and then Dr. Lawson.
Would I be doing too much to ask you to repeat the first question?
No, not at all. Looking at mental health, how would you grade from where we are as in a community? How would you grade us when it relates to mental health? How are we doing, right? And then as it relates to you personally, how do you believe you are helping, adding, or where regarding, I'm giving a little more explanation, as it relates to your contribution to the wealth of mental health?
Got you. I think currently to grade them, I would say we're improving. I think it's a hot topic, like you said. It's a more common topic. I don't believe back in the day it was a common topic. Kind of like to echo what Tyler said. It's kind of like if something's wrong with you, people looked at you funny. And that's just kind of like it is what it is. So I think nowadays, I could be wrong because I'm only 28. Nowadays, it seems more talked about, which, builds more opportunity to fix the problem, or try to, embrace the problem. So I will give it a good grade, headed in the right direction, but it's not where, can always get to where it needs to be.
Okay.
And as far as myself, I feel like, we can all, myself, I can be like a shoulder to cry on, a ear to vent to, you know, if as long as I educate myself with the resources, I can try to point you in the right direction. But I'm just grateful because I'm glad we're talking about the Lord because I have Him in my life, and that's where mine was healed. Like where my struggles, my slight like depression or disappointment in myself. Going to the Lord and getting healed that way, I was able to kind of hit the ground running in education and in my life, like with my family, meeting my wife and all that. So like, but as far as contributing to society, I'm trying to kind of like build that, trying to get to where like I can refer you to resources, whether it be to a mental health therapist or the Bible or whatever work, whatever I can kind of refer you to. But I'm kind of like in the process of getting myself there to help others, if that makes sense.
I love it. I love it. Dr. Lawson.
I'll tell you, Sister Perry and too, Brother Martin and Brother Parker, we come from a past where we went from being touched, touched in the brain, to now being able to touch the hearts and minds of people in this day. And I got to tell you, I had a conversation actually with Brother Tyler when he served on a panel here about a week ago that dealt with the issue of mental health. And I said to these young people, I was so incredibly proud of them because they have a lived experience where they feel comfortable now having conversations about what's going on in their lives and talking about trauma. When I was a kid, you didn't talk about those kind of things. If you wanted to talk about mental health, you went to the barbershop and you
Right.
sit in that chair and you asked the barber what he thought. He gave you some thoughts, and all the fellas would chime in. They were sitting in there, oh man, shake it off, shake it off. You better than that. You stronger than that. And so we didn't cry. We didn't show those types of emotions. We didn't show concern or necessarily the kind of caring that I am so proud to see in these young people today. They've been through a lot of, especially over the last 3 years with this pandemic. And I've seen so much caring and support from these young people. And I think that's essential in our community.
Yeah.
We have to be real. We have to recognize that we have experienced trauma. We have to recognize that we will continue to experience trauma. And even in little ways, whether it's Tyler that's being able to talk to one of his friends and listen to them, whether it's Brother Parker in his own family being a earpiece for his wife and there for his child to be able to share with them any concerns that they have. I think that's essential that we all serve a purpose in being able to provide support to others. We might not always have the answers, and it's okay to say, I don't know how to answer that, but I can always listen and I can always look out and try to find for you the right type of resources that will help to make you whole. Because we can get people where they need to be when they get the right type of assistance. So we've gone from being touched, like my grandma would say, you touched, boy, to now being able to honestly, truly touch the hearts and minds of people and broaden their minds that this is something that's normal to go through trauma and to need help sometime.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, I love it. I love it. Next hot topic. Okay. Next hot topic that we have as it relates, and I would be remiss before I even jump into the next hot topic to not highlight the mental health specialist professional, Dr. Letitia Allen, who's in the comments. Thank you. Process all in his timing. Thank you all for bringing this topic up. Yes, absolutely. Appreciate all the great work that you're doing for us over at the college as well. So when we look at, going from mental health, another hot topic, let's talk about culture. What does culture mean, and what does it mean to you? Let me say this. What does culture mean to you? And if you could, part two of the question, if you could enhance the culture, what would you want to enhance in this culture?
Mm.
Go for it. Anybody. This is this round robin on this one.
I'll start it off.
Okay.
I'll say immediately the one thing I would automatically try to enhance in culture throughout the world is just love. Like we need more love in the world. There's a lot of hate and and just pain in the heart. Sometimes it's okay. Hug somebody. Say hello, talk to somebody, ask them if they're okay. Like we just need love in this world. And I'm sorry, what was the first question again?
What is culture? What is that? How would you define it?
And culture to me is just people being able to share something and just be themselves. They don't have to try to be something because they see it on a social media website, or they they see their favorite artists do that. Just be themselves, because I feel like everybody's best form is themselves.
I agree. I agree. Anyone else?
To me, culture reminds me of like something in common. You know, like
Okay.
Tyler said, we can have our own individual culture, being ourselves, but like it feels like culture when we all can relate to it. Get that switch from outside, or little phrases that we just all know. Like how did I never met you growing up, but you just know, right?
Mhm.
That's what I think of when I think of culture. Just like stuff that we have in common, or a group of people, or a handful of people, even two people can come together with, and it's like unspoken language, but that's what I think of. Fun. I think of stuff that's fun, or that gets everybody excited. Like, and to enhance it, that's a really good question. I like Tyler's answer, but I think to incorporate the Lord, because I think it's people are afraid. It's like a school. It's not cool to pray. It's not cool to bring up the name of Jesus. It's not
Mm.
cool. It's like the Lord who created everything got taken out, and you don't have to believe. But he just got taken out of school. Workplace, like So it's like that. If we could, it's cool. Like, and the thing is, to me, it's like it seemed like it's cool to believe in anything else
Yeah.
and more accepted than it is. But when you bring up the name Jesus, it's like now you got people looking at you like you got to be perfect, or what's wrong with you, or it's kind of like more accepting of that, because we've been accepting, I feel like, of everything else,
Mhm.
which is not a bad thing. I'm not going to tell you what to believe in, but we accept everything else. It
Right.
seems like, allow the Lord to be embraced. A lot of people who love the Lord to be able to say that without getting looked at crazy. And that might enhance the culture to me
I
personally.
like that. I like that. I like that. Reverend Doctor. Remember this is a hot topic. It's short,
Yeah,
okay?
yeah. I tell people right off the bat, for me, culture is very simply the culmination of all of our life's experiences. And that can be individual, that can be collectively. So Miss Perry has her own lived experiences that were passed down from her parents, passed down from her grandparents. Mr. Martin has his own cultural experiences that were passed down from his parents, passed down from his friends, passed down from his community. Mr. Parker has the same. And then, of course, we as a people have a collective and experience in transition across the Atlantic in very substandard conditions, wherein the majority of our brothers and sisters wound up as shark food because they could not make that transition. And then, of course, coming into this country, so culture is the culmination of our life's experiences individually. I'm not just Vaughn. I'm Leland and Peggy's boy.
Right.
I'm not just Vaughn. I belong to Dr. Ada Laura Scipio Fisher and Dr. Ernest L. Holloway and Dr. Wesleyan Simpson and Dr. John Coleman at Langston University, all who poured into me. I'm not just Vaughn Lawson. I belong to Friendship Baptist Church in Yorba Linda, Reverend Curry,
Oh, yeah, I
and,
know Reverend Curry.
and the teachings that he provides to us, because he's not just a preacher, he's a teacher. And then, of course, if I had to enhance it, I too, like Brother Parker would say, that we need to be more accepted and understanding that everybody should be able to speak the name of Jesus if they want to. I tell folk, I'm not ashamed of it. And I think even in the work setting, Sister Parker, I'm not at all afraid to tell folks that I love the Lord. If I didn't have him in my life, I'd be crazy right now, truly.
Yeah.
Okay. And so the peace that I find, the joy that I find, does that make me perfect? No. Does it make any Christian perfect? No, it makes them forgiven. And there's the difference. We've all sinned and fallen short. But the reality is we have someone that we can go to as an example, someone to study, someone to say, I want to be better each and every day. I tell folks I live by a certain set of standards, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know, I will love people that don't love me. I will try to help somebody that needs help, and I think that's essential. And I'll live with that light that some people will never get a chance to experience or see. I want that light to shine through me, if at all possible. That cross that says that you can live forever, and it's very simple. And so it's not something that you're forced to. That's the great part I love about Christianity.
Mhm.
You know, the Lord gives you a choice. Satan doesn't. Once he got you, he got you. So you know, I always tell him, I love God's choice better. He gives you the choice. You know, it's beautiful. Yeah.
Absolutely. I wholeheartedly agree. Okay, so we talked about mental health, we talked about culture. Let's deal with something that is not necessarily so favorable. Okay. The reality of brutality, as well as I would say, the nature of still being identified as a criminal by just mere looks. What are your thoughts on that? How do you handle that as being the intelligent, articulate, melanated men that you are, God fearing, family focused men? How do you handle what society might present as the narrative of who you are and make others perceive you as that? How do you keep yourself? How do you ensure you're presenting yourself in in a whole and complete way, and even passing that on to your son and to others in your community? How do you handle that?
Yeah. I'm gonna start that one first if I can, only because I'm the oldest something in this room right now. And I've said for many decades now, when I speak to young black men and young black women, I have a responsibility. I have a responsibility not only to set an example, but I have a responsibility to share skills and skill sets with you that help you get home safe
Yeah.
every day.
Mhm.
And I have this saying that sometimes I share with young students, and I always tell them, when you out on Highway 10 in Southern Alabama and you get stopped by a highway trooper there, that's not the place to holler that you have civil rights. The place to holler that you have civil rights is when you're standing on the Capitol steps in Alabama, and there are 20 other thousand people standing behind you hollering, give us our rights. We have to teach our young men and our young women how to get home safe every day. We have to give them those tool sets. We have to teach them to use the words effectively so that they can remain safe. There's a time and place for everything, for every fight. As John Lewis would say, to get into good trouble. There's a time and place. And we want to assure that we give you those tools, those mechanisms necessary that you get home without getting injured, without getting killed, without getting arrested, so that you can then turn around and say, I was done wrong. Let's handle that the way it should be handled.
Yeah.
That's essential. I want you to be angry. I want you to even sometime be frustrated with the fact that the way that you're treated. But it's my responsibility to make sure that my baby brothers, my baby sisters, my children get home safe every day.
That's good. Thank you so much. Anyone else want to share on that one?
Yeah, I'll jump in. I That's a deep question. You know, it's deep, and I appreciate your answer, Devon, because that's real. We do have to be more wise. You know, that's a wise answer of you. You know, because we could get hot headed. You know, thinking like, but you got to know your battles, know where to fight them. Um, I haven't been in like the extreme situations, but I've been like profiled. Like I walked in the store one time. I take my keys out of my back pocket, and the guy like, what you got? Like, oh, these are my keys. That's simple. He was like, oh, so yeah. He kind of said sorry, kept it pushing. I'm like, all right, but I think it's just important to just equip yourself with knowledge and like put yourself in situations to where it's like it's gonna be like clearly they fought if they, you go to school, you get up in a certain class, you enter a certain category because we all, like he said, he's not just Vaughn, he's Dean Vaughn. We're not, I'm not just James. I'm, you know,
Yeah.
PTA President James. Like things like that. Like put some titles on your name. Go do something with yourself to where it's like now they had to be wrong if they're bothering you. If that makes sense. Don't just you don't want to just hang out every single day, on the block with brother so and so, and then get mad, when you get pulled over. But if you get your license, get your registration, I tell my cousins, if they pull me over right now, they can't take my car from me, you have to be wrong, I got license, I got registration, things like that, don't put yourself in a position to, fail, which is easier said than done, but that's what's helped me. I've kind of, me personally, I kind of stayed out of trouble. I never like being in trouble. I don't like being in the house all day. Well, I do now, but as a kid, I don't.
You said that real quick. You was like, no, baby, focus.
No, I do now. But like as a kid, that was my philosophy. I'm like, I don't want to end up in jail. I don't even want to be in my room all day. So I wouldn't do stuff that'll get me in trouble. It's just kind of like that. But it's kind of like it's hard to, if you're innocent, and it should drop your chances of being like worried. But even I know, even when you're innocent, things can happen. So do your best, just do your best. It's a real hard topic because at least put yourself in a good position.
That's good. I appreciate that. Tyler?
I would agree with Brother James and Dean Vaughn. We need to know where our battles are, where we should be getting rowdy or upset instead of doing it in a one-on-one setting off highway. It's you just gotta know. But I would also like to touch on the fact of just the brutality situation of right now. I just believe it needs to stop. Like there's no if or and or buts. They're openly doing this. They don't care, as it seems to me, and it's been going on for numerous amount of years.
Right.
And it's still a problem. If it's still a problem, maybe we need to start holding certain people accountable for their actions that they're taking, because this is a problem that needs to be solved immediately.
Yeah.
And can I say one other thing, Sister Perry, to these brothers, to everybody who's that's listening? We also have to have a spirit of reclamation. And what that means is if we have young brothers and sisters that have fallen short and been a part of the judicial system, and they've gone to prison or they've been incarcerated, we've got to reclaim them.
Yeah.
They're not gone. They're still there. And so we've got to go out and reach out to them and say, this can be, you had an experience. It wasn't necessarily a mistake. It was an experience. That's the path you took. That was what happened for that moment. Never by the grace of God go out. I've been stopped by the cops more than I can count on both hands and both fingers, especially in Oklahoma. But the reality is I knew how to keep my head, and that was important. And so the reality is, as we look at our brothers and sisters that are out there, we got to reclaim them. Person comes out and say, I went to jail. So what? Now let's turn that corner and move forward. Once you walk across that stage and get that piece of paper, you can use that as part of your ministry and motivate others who've been through that same experience. Yeah. We've got to get out here and get them back, get them to reading, get them to learning how to do something that's going to help give them the lifestyle that they deserve. So I think that's important because we often forget brothers and sisters who have been a part of that system, and that's not right. That Jesus said that. I mean, we're supposed to go into the prisons and help and support young brothers and sisters. I've worked in that system before in Oklahoma, and I know that it's sorely needed every place we go. And I found that most brothers and sisters want to learn. They want to learn something.
Yeah, I agree. And if I would just add in on regarding the brutality, and the reason why I asked the question is because one, we got this amazing panel here of well diverse age range. And when we talk about past, present, and future, we know that there's nothing new under the sun. You know, I was talking to my colleagues today, and even in a Bible study on last night, if you read the Bible, drama, trauma, favoritism, murder, lies, deceit, backstabbing, all the stuff that we see, the mayhem, baby daddy, baby mama, bad threesome, going wild, you name it, right? It ain't nothing new, right?
Yeah.
So when we understand that we're a lot of times we're repeating the past, when those that decided if he continues to do his work down here, the Romans will come and take away our government. You have people who do think the more they see a group of individuals like yourselves move up, secure the bag, quote unquote, living the purpose that God has given you, they'll take away from me. You see that in political, in your socioeconomic world, and unfortunately, going back to the very first thing, the question I asked you all, what do we need more of? Tyler said love.
Love.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
If we love, and then James, you said how they can get it, it is through Jesus Christ, right? If we truly would operate from a place of love, we can do what Dean Lawson was saying about using wisdom. Because we understand that a soft word can turn away wrath.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
A harsh word brings up violence and destruction. So we have to be very meticulous. When I look at because you know, like you, I've been black all my life too. And so this ain't new. However, every experience I have to use as an individual situation.
Right.
Because if I begin to look at all law enforcement, when we do the Faith in Blue ministry, I won't be effective.
Right.
If I begin to look at all other ethnicities as they don't like me, then I'll never have the friendships and the loveship that I have with others.
Mm-hmm.
So when I hear you all say is making sure that we're balanced, have awareness, that watch, know when to fight, but always pray.
Mm-hmm.
So I love that. I love that. I love that. This is good. This is good. Listen, my very last question, because we're gonna keep it light, we're gonna keep it funky. We're on our way out of here. Y'all look like y'all might know a little bit about sports.
Whoa.
So
Just
who
a
going
tad.
to the finals, y'all? Who going to the finals?
Oh, that's a good question.
What's
I feel
y'all's
like
prediction? Here,
Personally, I don't see Lakers getting past conference. I don't see Lakers getting past conference.
let me
no,
tell you
you
something. I'm
could-
gonna punch you in your
I
face.
hear you.
When I see you
I
in
don't. I'm sorry. You guys are
No,
old.
I believe you.
Sorry.
You know, when I moved
with
to
you.
California, and I tell people this, I kept my 405 number from Oklahoma and my love for the Thunder. That's just not gonna happen, you know, as far as Thunder, bless their hearts. But I'm gonna keep supporting the Thunder forever because it took us forever to even get a professional team in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And yes, understand the Sooners are not a professional team. So everybody get out there. I get people asking me if they're a Sooner fan. No, they're not a professional team. I love the Thunder. So
Okay.
that's just where I am.
Yeah, nice. Well, I mean, I think the West is always harder to tell personally.
Okay.
You know, they, I'm a Lakers fan, but I
Good.
mean,
Very good.
Boston
'Cause
tearing
Tyler-
everybody up, ain't they?
Boston
You know,
goes
so
insane.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna keep it real. You know, I grew up. I'm a Lakers fan. I'm a loyal person, but you know, like I kind of started loving the game more, and that's with football, and that's with all that.
Mhm.
So it's like I learned how to like. All right, you on a team that I wouldn't root for, but respect is respect.
Okay.
Hunger is hunger. So when I see Boston, I pay attention to how they lost last year. And I think they're not playing no games this year. You know, I feel like they've been there, they learned, they've been in the conference finals every single year since these youngsters is really trying to hoop now. I think Tatum is taking it serious.
Mhm.
I think they learned a lot from last year, so I wouldn't be surprised if I see Boston back in the finals.
Right.
I wouldn't be.
So I
Personally.
just want to let you know, Tyler, I would never do violence because I love everybody. But just know that I was like, oh, that's fighting words in the Perry
I'm
family.
sorry.
No, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah. I feel like you didn't
Y'all
have
might
to
not
address
even make
them.
playing.
You didn't have to say.
So why are you
didn't
talking
have
about
to throw
them
it
not
off.
going to the final?
Yeah,
gotta
you
talk
didn't have
about
to
who
throw it off
going to
there.
the
You
final.
could have said, I think Boston and so, but you came out and said,
Because,
sure.
well, personally, I'm a Clipper fan, so I have to.
oh,
You could have started with that.
I openly have
okay.
to.
So you should have started and said, hey, I want to let you know I'm a hater.
That's
And-
not true. That isn't true.
So with that being said, so I appreciate you all's predictions. Thank you so much. And Dean Vaughn, I'd hate to tell you, but the thunder might as well turn into lightning and just flash out because ain't nothing happening. Okay.
We got SGA.
Look at Miss
SGA's hooping.
I'm just
You
saying.
nice.
I want Lillard to win a ring.
Nice,
though.
but
I
ever
want
since
Lillard.
Russell left, the heart of Oklahoma.
Kevin Durant, Russell, and
Yeah.
and yeah.
That was y'all
Kevin
chance
Russell
right
left,
there.
I don't know why y'all-
2012,
Kevin
yeah.
Durant left.
2012,
That's the
yeah.
real.
Yeah.
That's the real truth.
Well, Kevin
He
Durant
left.
went and ran. They didn't know he left.
Westbrook, yeah.
But the good
That's
thing
when it was
is
over.
Dean Lawson can now support the Clippers because Russell is there now.
Mhm.
I've
then-
been to some Clipper games because one of my mentors here in California, Brother Johnson, he has taken me and he has those courtside seats, so I can't help but love sitting there with him. But I told him, I said, man, I can't change my allegiance. When I'm there, I'll definitely cheer for the Clippers or whoever's playing. But yeah, I got to stay with the Thunder, man. That's all I got from Oklahoma's Thunder.
I get it. Slim pickings, as they would say down there.
That's it. Yeah.
I do think, since we're on the topic, I do think Westbrook got us the short end of the stick.
Yeah.
I do think
Westbrook is
Wallace a
one of the most
Laker.
underrated
Good luck with him and
players
all
in
that,
this-
but
I'm sorry.
they put too much blame on that man.
Most triple doubles ever.
This is true. Now, I will just ask this real
That's
quick
it.
because I already have a feeling that we're not going to agree. But who would you say is the greatest of all time in the NBA?
Wow, I'm gonna have to go with the mindset of Charles Barkley on that. I don't think there. I think it should go by a generation or decade.
Okay.
I think when you look at Michael Jordan, he's the greatest of his generation.
I like what Robin said.
When you look at Wilt Chamberlain, when you look at Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, you can't say just because LeBron. And I think LeBron of this generation, he's the greatest. But you can't take anything from a Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and especially even during those times when he came up. And so, and Kobe,
I was like, not and Kobe. You started
I see Robin.
even that put Kobe down there in the box of his generation. There you go. One of the greatest.
I just want to highlight real quick. This is my sorrow, who came in hot already with the right answer because she knew, she read the room. Unlike Brother Tyler, she read the room, and so I appreciate
that.
you. Love you.
This is my little spill. I almost feel bad because we had a little session in Sunday school last week. Because when Jesus said they came to Jesus and said, "Who's the greatest?" Whoever put himself last should be first.
Okay.
But since because that's all we do nowadays, talk about the greatest. But ain't nobody greater than him. But as far as sports skills, who your favorite? I can't go past Kobe. The reason why is because I watched him. People be like, "Oh, Kobe fans say this and that." No, I watched him. Like, when I was 9 years old, Shaq left. I watched him score 62 on the Dallas Mavericks that went to the finals. I watched nobody able to stop him. I watched him and won 20 feet. And, every time he getting fouled, oops, it's in there. I watched him drop 35 a game. I watched nobody be able to stop him. Was he the best teammate? Did he have personal problems? Yes. But I haven't seen nobody play like him. And then even including LeBron, he got a different type of style. But the way Kobe played, the way he couldn't be stopped, he gonna always be my favorite player.
Good job,
I can give respect to LeBron. He's done a lot statistically. He's done a lot for the NBA. Jordan, I didn't watch him though. You get what I'm saying? So it's like it's harder. Yeah, I think if you a little older, I can understand it. But when you watch, I used to watch every game. Yeah. It's kind of hard to go against what you saw. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Some stuff He shot a 3 with his left hand. Like,
Yeah, he did.
you know what I mean? Like,
Playing for torn Achilles. Listen.
yeah.
Oh, don't
Yeah.
even get me started. Tyler,
The stuff he
because
did
I'm
was like,
a balanced person and I love the Lord. Tyler, what sayest thou you?
I'm gonna have to go
LeBron.
LeBron right now. I
I knew he
At
was.
this point,
LeBron?
I have to go LeBron.
But
Like,
that's fair. That's a fair answer.
he's been playing in the NBA longer than he's did anything else in his life. Think about that.
Because he's got a job right out of
He
high
was
school.
a child coming into the NBA, a 6'8" child.
Kobe was too.
So yeah.
Oh, you're not understanding. LeBron is still doing this and still
Kobe
dropping
died.
30 bombs.
He did it too.
Kobe was retired.
After
LeBron-
20 years of hard service.
LeBron about to have 20 years of hard service and 35 points a game.
And he's going to retire like his hairline.
That's
Sad.
wow. See, now we're hating. Now we're hating.
It's the thing with Kobe, when he came into the league, he had obstacles to get over. LeBron came out, you know what I'm saying, keys to the franchise. But when Kobe came to the Lakers, they had all-stars. The coach wasn't letting them play. So that's a couple years of stats that he couldn't build up. The second he got on the court, though, he dropped 33 on Jordan. He, you know what I'm saying? He flying all over the place in the All-Star game. He was never not that. He just didn't have the same opportunity. So, you know.
I understand that.
Yeah.
But we're still talking about how LeBron is still playing and dropping 35 plus points.
Hey, he on my team.
Listen, I'm going to tell y'all, and I'm going to be amicable and I'm going to be loving and transparent. I love the passion. The last question, when I said I'm going to keep it light, how y'all just came all the way live like Johnny Five. I think that's beautiful.
We could do this on ESPN. We could all do this.
Because I'm
That's
like,
all they do.
I mean, I need to cut this reel and send it over to ESPN. Like, hey, talk to me. I can get it out the guys. I can tell the guys how
The numbers, right?
question. They know their numbers and stats. Like we can do a whole little show.
I mean, when you think of LeBron, every single time you're like, okay, which finals did he lose in? They don't know which one it is. It's repeated finals. It's repeated.
Are you saying repeated finals that he lost? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying repeated finals, period. He's been to.
Oh, okay.
He's been to what was it, 9 in a row? Was it 9 in a row before he
8 in a row.
8 in a row?
That's nice. Well, listen.
8 in a row.
Come on.
I'm like I said, I agree with Dean Lawson when it comes down to generation.
That's a decade of
it's
being
it's all debatable.
It is very debatable. And that's why you can catch us. Any other time we can have this conversation, but I got to go ahead and pay these bills and make sure that we move on. But listen, gentlemen, it's been such an honor and a pleasure to have you on the Be Healed Web Show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I hope someone knows that past, and really even us talking about these sports players, it ties into past, present, and future.
It does.
Because you have the past greats. I mean, before there was a Michael Jordan, there was a Wilt Chamberlain. Before there was a Wilt Chamberlain, there was a Bill Russell. I mean, you like, well, actually they were around the same time. But we've had so many great people come through this life. And when you think about it, I have to close with this because it's been in my heart. When you think about the greatness that God has allowed mankind to get a little dabble of, because all good and perfect things come from him. But how he has sprinkled himself in us that we might perform good works that will glorify him. And every now and then, what he has gifted us naturally to do blesses us at the same time. That's a blessing. And the fact that I cannot wait to see the hearts and lives that you will touch as being an advocate, Tyler, in mental health, in behavioral science, as you're communicative, getting your bachelor's and then your master's, and your doctorates, and the books that you will write as being a mathematician who not only loves the Lord, Brother James, but is that father, that husband to your beautiful family. And we're sitting on the shoulders of the Dean Lawsons, the VP Johnsons. We're sitting on the shoulders of such great and awesome people. I'm honored that I'm able to be a part of the story.
Thank you.
Every day that I wake up, I tell God, thank you that you included me in his master plan. He didn't have to. So whatever you all are going through, whatever your day may bring, continue to give glory and honor to God because he's worthy.
Yes.
And I'm grateful that we're not on campus because sometimes you're right, you can be restricted. This is my show that the Lord has blessed me to do.
This is
And
all you.
listen, I'm going to talk about the love of my soul because he's just good like that.
Yeah,
But
Better than
I
good.
appreciate you all. I get to hang out with you all for a few more minutes, but we're going to say goodbye to everyone. If you want to follow and connect with these individuals, I'm going to have them drop it in the chat. If you guys go on the right-hand side where you see Mary Stewart and Robin Brooks, if you see their names, drop how they can connect with you. And so we can put that in the chat and folks can see. Thank you, Letitia, as she stated. Thank you to Tyler and James for being open and showing yourself. Thank you all, Warren, of being 1 out of 99. I'm grateful for you all just being on with us tonight. Let's see here. Again, if you would like to support and continue on with the Be Healed Web Show, you have the scan code in the lower portion. I'm going to drop it over here as well. And this is where you all can be a part and share with us in the work that we're doing. And I'll make sure to drop their information below in our publication. So again, have a great and blessed night. Gentlemen, you get to hang out with me for a little while longer in the after show, the after party, and then we'll see you all soon. Lord willing, same bat time, same bat channel, being the Be Healed Web Show here on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitch, and Twitter. You all have a blessed and wonderful night. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you.